The law of association, something that you should really know about. Growing up, I used to be surrounded by, in a rough area, a variety of different peoples. You had, burglars, you had people that were involved in gangs, you name it. I've surrounded myself with people and I've elevated myself through. So clearly I've done something correct. I've understood one key concept in being surrounded by people like that. And I learned eventually a very, very powerful concept, which I want to share with you guys, because this video should really help you have a clear, healthy understanding of this universal law. And it applies to every element of your life as to what you want to do and where you want to go. The law of association is also one of the foundations to achieving great success and continuing success in your endeavors. The law of association is a law that states the people that you hang around with, eventually you will adopt their ideas, their philosophies, and their way of thinking. For example, if you have 4 drug dealers, okay, and you hang around them daily, you might be working a 9 to 5, and every day after work you hang out with these guys, they smoke, they do whatever, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, you're going to be influenced. You're going to be influenced because you are surrounding yourself as the 5th person in this group. And as a result, you start to embody their ideas and their doctrine. So you start to stabilize your frequency according to what appeals to them. What didn't appeal to you before, such as having, all of these hyper supercars and being, having that fast life. Eventually, what you do is you become that 5th person. You start to think, oh, this is actually what it is. And what you've done is you've tricked yourself into believing that these people are the majority and this is the way to think and this is the right way to think, when it's not. That is why the law of association states you should surround with people as to where you want to go. If you want to become successful, rich, and be surrounded by very powerful and influential people, you need to be in the right room as those people. Okay? If you want to be broke, if you want to be surrounded by people that get nowhere in their lives, they are slaves, they are consumers to the capitalist world and society and the matrix, then of course stay with these people and you're definitely on the way to success. Okay, the aspect here is the following: you need to realize that who you hang around with plays a significant role in where you are headed in your life. It is almost a direct steering in a ship. If you fail to understand this concept, no matter what you do, you will always be dragged down. And I'm telling you this from experience. And I'm sharing that with you because many people watching this across the world have toxic people in their lives, have people that have, they drain them of their energy. You're doing the run around, just trying to uplift people and do what you need to do. I am not saying in this video, cut out all of your friends, cut out all of your family ties, etc. But I want you to be very critical and reason with your current friends and who you spend your time with. Throughout a week, throughout a month, throughout last year, how many times were you around people who are exactly where you want to be? This is a very important question that I ask myself first and foremost regularly. Is it better to be around those people and then build yourself up, or is it great to kind of pick yourself up and move somewhere else? The key here is what you need to focus on is who your friends are. Are they headed where you want to go? Are they doing the things that you want to do? Are they a positive impact? Remember, in my previous video, I talk about the power of the subconscious mind. Through ideas, thoughts, and philosophies, you will embody without realizing through your conscious capacity, through your subconscious mind, you will pick up their ideas 100%. You need to be very selective of your friends and who you surround yourself with. And I'll tell you a quick story as well. For a very long time, when I was in college, I used to mess about quite a bit. I never used to pray. I used to get up to no good. I used to do all sorts of stuff. But I soon realized that I got to a point where I felt completely lost in my life. I didn't know where I was headed, who I was, and I just felt lost to myself. And the reason why is because I was following the direction of people who didn't even know where they were going themselves. So you can imagine if you're going to a destination and you're following somebody who's lost, who thinks they know the way when they really don't, and you're following them, you are following a lost person. You need people who know where they are going, and you need to be surrounded by that. So in college, at one point I had an epiphany moment. I got very, very sick. I was on literally the hospital, and it was one of the very first time when I dug deep into my soul and I prayed. I said, "Ya Allah, help me," because I had a very bad chest infection, and that chest infection spiraled out crazily, and I could barely breathe. I was like literally gasping for air. I was throwing up, and then my mum saw me. She's like, "Hey, look, you're not feeling good. You need to go straight to the hospital." So when I went there, they said, you know what, you're lucky, you came in at the right time. If you stayed like this for a very long time, it could have been very fatal to you. And I remember I was sitting in a hospital and I said to myself, you know what, this is crazy. I was healthy one day, and then because I was following and surrounding myself with bad people and getting up to no good, I think it was a sign. I was like, these people, things can change very fast in life. And I remember sitting there and I saw this old man who was on his deathbed, and he had the priest come over and he had all of his kids. All of his kids were crying, oh Dad. And it was a very surreal moment. The priest was then reciting prayers for him, his family, and then he couldn't hear. And I questioned myself. I said, this man standing over here right in front of me, is this a man who achieved what he wanted to do? Is he a person that followed the right path that he wanted to take in his life? I started to get all of these thoughts. I started to switch my critical mind on, and I said to myself, wow, look where I am, look where I am. I'm on the hospital. I've got one thing that he doesn't have, and that's time. Without time and not critically thinking, you can be in a position where you do not know where you are going in life. And you need to really think about who you are associating yourself with. Since that moment, when I got off the hospital bed, I started to pray. I started to surround myself with people. I started to go to the mosque. I started to be around positive people. I started to learn more about my religion, my faith. I started to play football. I started to be more active. I moved away from the crowd. In a short period of time, I drastically changed my life. I became the healthiest I ever was. I started to take on my entrepreneurial skills, and I started to make revenue. And I went on a good path ever since. And that was the biggest lesson in my life. And that is the power and the law of association. So in this video, make sure you really think about who you're surrounding yourself with, and think about what I said in this video. It can take you this way or that way, it's up to you. See you guys on the next one. Peace.